In the age of the Super Nintendo and the Dreamcast, the only way for a kid like me who grew up in the early 2000s to get any reliable information was through game magazines or a trip to the local GameStop. Easter eggs were speculation amongst friends, and the library always had game guides that would break my heart when I figured out that nude Lara Croft wasn't real. But now we live in the era of information, and with one quick Google search, you can find pictures of Lara Croft, find out that the myths you believed as a kid, if they were real or not. Even so, we're living in an era of live service games where developers talk down to their player base and spew out endless updates with in-game purchases or battle passes. Subscriptions you have to buy just to play with your fucking friends. But this has become the norm, and if you want to play a game that looks fun, chances are you might have to deal with at least some of the things that I just mentioned if you want to play it in the modern age of video games. Among these titles, and amongst the sea of poorly made ones, stands a certain game that's been blowing up recently. My favorite fucking game, baby, Palworld. This game is the most fun I've had with games in a long time, and it shows that you don't need microtransactions or any other bullshit to make your game profitable or popular. Despite being under a month since it's been released, the game has garnered tens of millions of players and has received overwhelmingly positive feedback. It's a wonder why this game feels like your divorced parents coming together for your birthday and all of a sudden you feel like a family again. Starting with the fact that it's only $30, the game is incomplete, yet the sheer scale of the game is ridiculous. The amount of love that was put into this thing is very evident. For me, this game was a wake-up call because why spend $70 on a game I don't even want to play? Or why spend money on a subscription when in reality there are other options? Sometimes I like to try to compete, to try and be the best, but sometimes I kind of lose track of why I play games in the first place. Like I'll play Rocket League and I really want to try to improve, and that's what I have fun doing, that's what I enjoy doing, but when I'm sitting there on a lost streak and I'm so pissed off screaming at the game or whatever else I'm fucking doing, I never scream at the game, I lose track of why I decided to play the game in the first place. And that's because I had fun with it. Palworld is just that. I don't feel pressured to get on and grind out a battle pass. The game doesn't force microtransactions down my throat so fucking far that I gag around the tip just so I can level my character up. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it has that option. I believe that Palworld is blowing up right now because it's a much needed return to form. And while I don't believe everything about this game is perfect, and I'm very wary of purchasing a game that was said to be around 60% done, this game at 60 fucking percent completion is a much more finished game than a large majority of AAA titles that come out today. Maybe, just maybe, instead of trying to shove your fat fucking throbbing story in my face and force the player to love it, developers and companies can ease us into it. You know, give us a nice massage or take us out for dinner and treat us with the care and respect that we deserve. Maybe at the end of the night, if we say, hey, I had a really nice time that night, but I'm gonna pass on the game because I think it's not very fun, the developers can look back at us and say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What could we improve on to make our game more of a fun experience for you? Making a AAA game isn't easy, and there are a lot of moving parts and aspects to developing one that I'm probably ignorant to. But the idea that people buying your game don't know what they want needs to fucking go. When a company receives feedback and ignores it, people become discouraged from buying from them. And it's only natural that this would happen. You know, some people grow apart. Sometimes your mom doesn't understand how hard your dad fucking works and will never appreciate him. And sometimes your dad doesn't listen no matter how much you try to communicate with them. And the problem is that you don't stop loving them no matter how frustrating it is because you realize they're only human. They're trying, but it's just really fucking frustrating. You're not a kid. And you don't need these developers and companies telling you what to do or how to live your life. And sometimes you know what's best for someone else. And in an industry where you live and die by the consumer, maybe they need to be better with listening to the needs of the people actually buying their game. Maybe, just maybe, we just care about the community too. I mean, I grew up playing video games. I love the escape that it brings to me. I don't want to come home from work just to fucking clock in the Grand Theft Auto 6 and work another 8-hour shift just to buy an in-game car. That's so annoying, and I don't want to be told that the game isn't for me just because I don't have as much time as I used to. At the same time, I do think that we need to be better as players about how we communicate with these companies. We need to articulate why and have a better communication channel overall with these developers. Some kind of poll or some kind of concrete data from a reliable source, like within the game itself, so people who actually play the game can comment on how the game is going, not people who actively see the game from the outside looking in and decide to hate on it regardless. It's tough to try and tweet at a developer or try to communicate somewhere else, because then you have people who will hate on a game without even properly playing it. People who don't form their own opinions, etc. But that's why constant communication is important. Palworld is blowing up because the developers are in touch with real people who actually enjoy gaming. Not journalists or literal fucking robots who echo whatever sentiment is popular at the moment. In a landscape of bland, cheap knockoffs and quick money grabs, isn't it ironic that the Pokemon Breath of the Wild Arc knockoff has set the internet on fire? Anyways, I'm gonna go play fucking Palworld, dude. That game is sick, dude. I'm out of here. Fuck you guys.